And Rob, don't look now, but the LA Lakers are actually playing some really good basketball. They beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Milwaukee was whole. Now, granted, Chris Middleton obviously not going to be himself yet, but he did come back and play. And but the Lakers went in there and beat them. They've won 8 of their last 10. Still on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs. It's still fairly early, but they're playing well. They're inching toward 500. And Rob, Anthony Davis, he's been what we said he should be ever since they won that championship in 2020 in the bubble. This is the Anthony Davis that you and I said should be going for MVPs now. It's his team now. This should be like he should have a nice 5-7 year run of this. Now he's had it for about a month. All right. But he is playing tremendous basketball. The last 9 games, 35 points, 15 and a half boards, 3 blocks, and 65% shooting from the field. And Rob, I'm going to say this. We all know the health. So, we know. And we know with every team you need health. But I got to admit, I hope I'm wrong. I kind of expect Anthony Davis to go down at some point soon. I expect LeBron. I think both Anthony Davis and LeBron could get injured just because of LeBron's age and because of AD's past, issues with health. But so taking health out of it, if they stay healthy and Anthony Davis plays this way, not 35 and 16 every night, but he's playing like a top 5, top 3, heck, top 1-2 player the way he's playing right now. If this is who Anthony Davis is this season, then the LA Lakers are in the mix. They are contenders. Not favorites, not the team I think would win the West, but in the mix in a conference that, much like the NFC in football, is open. It's a lot of good teams, but no world beater, and I think the Lakers would be right there in that mix if this is AD.
And once again, I think, Chris, you are caught up as a prisoner of the moment, and you're right. Anthony Davis has played lights out. If you believe 65% shooting will continue, then the Lakers will be contenders. If you believe Anthony Davis is going to play a full season, then yes, the Lakers will be contenders. If you believe LeBron James is going to play a full season, then yes, the Lakers will be contenders. But I don't believe any of it.
So
I just believe
I'm not saying he's got to shoot 65%.
As a hot streak.
But you just don't think they're going to stay healthy.
No, I don't think they're going to stay healthy, and I don't think Anthony Davis is going to play as well as he's played during this stretch. This has been an incredible stretch. At one point I saw when he had the 44 and then the 55, the first time a big man for the Lakers had done that since Shaq played. That's how long. It's not like this happens every day or this is his typical play.
In fairness, though, I did say I don't expect him to be 35 and 16.
Okay,
so I'm just saying, what he's 28 and 14 or whatever his average is.
Right. I'm just saying.
Player, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't believe it's sustainable. We'll see how this road trip that got off to a great start. I'll give you the Bucks win. That's a huge win to start a road trip. Then they beat Washington. Okay. We'll see how the rest of the trip is. A 6-game trip. And if they finish 3-3 or 4-2, then it's a great trip. If they finish 2-4, then we'll revisit this. But I'm not sold on a 9-game stretch where you played the Spurs 3 times. I'm just not there yet. The Spurs and the Pistons and some of the other teams that they beat, that they should beat. And I think we're a little jaded in the idea that they started 2-10. That team should never start 2-10 with that talent. That was underachieving. That was not playing up to your potential. That was just garbage. They should have never been 2-10. They got too much talent, and this league is too weak for the Lakers to be 2-10 with the talent that they have on their roster. I don't, and even with this hot streak, they're still not even in the play-in scenario, which is just, they just won. What'd you say it was? 8 out of 10?
8 of 10.
Yeah. And they're still not even in that scenario, which is a little surprising. They'll be better. I'm still not convinced that there'll be a a contender or where they'll fit in, but I'm definitely not there just yet after just an 8-2 record in the last 10.
I'm not so much caught up in. I mean, yeah, the record is good, 8-2 over the last.
I'm not
10.
knocking it. You got to play
Right.
who's there.
But I'm looking at the way they're playing. It's not just the success, but it's the way. Anthony Davis, right? I've been saying this for years. In today's NBA, AD, there's no reason you shouldn't be a center unless you have a great center next to you. There's no reason you should be fearing, disdaining playing center in today's soft and silly putty NBA. You ain't down there banging. The lane is wide open. You're the biggest dude, one of the biggest dudes in the league. Look at Anthony Davis is huge. I don't just mean his height, but he's big. And today's NBA, where the 4 men, power forwards, are typically stretch fours, man, come on. And this year, Rob, he is playing center. 98% of the time, he's playing center. And that is why he's been so dominant. He's rolling he's a main man on the high screen and roll. And instead of popping half the time like he did last year, he's rolling 80% of the time to the basket. And most of his buckets are coming inside. It's nice that you can step out and hit the 17-footer. I like that as an addition. But you should be dominating the paint. And that's what he's been doing. And then the Lakers as a whole, Rob, are not shooting as many threes. We know how terrible they were from 3 early in the year. They've cut down the three-point shooting. They lead the league over the last month in percentage of their shots that are at the rim. And they're last in the league in the last month in percentage of their shots that are threes. And guess what? They're hitting more threes. So the way I say this time and time again, if you ain't Golden State, don't play like Golden State. If you don't have a plethora of three-point shooters, then don't shoot 45 to 53s a game. You are big, LA, even with just AD and LeBron, who should dominate at the basket. That's your bread and butter. Do it. Who gonna stop you? Draymond Green? If you play Golden State? So they are playing the right way, in my view, and Russ is bringing energy off the bench and all that. So I'm not just looking at 8-2, because you're right, they beat some bad teams. I mean, obviously Milwaukee's legit, but they beaten some bad teams in there too. I'm looking at how they're playing, and that's what I like. And if they keep it up, then I think they could make some noise. But yeah, no, not 35-15 for AD, but he can keep 28-13. I think he can do that. Are the Lakers contenders with AD leading the way? Your turn.
All right, let's kick it off with Marty in Kentucky. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty? How you feeling?
I'm feeling much better. We're me and River getting over this pneumonia. I appreciate you asking.
Good.
How you doing, Chris?
Great, man. Good to hear you guys are feeling better.
Yeah. Of course, you guys know I'm an AD fan. I've seen AD carry 2 teams to a championship. I know he didn't get Finals MVP, but in the Western Conference, and he really carried that Lakers team. But the 2 scenarios I've seen it is a 40-game NCAA season and the bubble scenario. And
Right.
I have not seen his body hold up to an 82-game season, then playoffs. So even though I love the way he's playing and playing big, and I want him to play big, and I love the Lakers playing big, do something different. Don't be
Right.
a copy. It's a copycat league, but it shouldn't be. All the greatest teams become great by doing something different than everybody else. And if they'll play inside out, they'll get more open threes, and they can
Yep.
win more. And I like the way they're playing right now, but I don't see this LeBron at this age and AD, that their body's holding up through the playoffs. I'm just not betting on that, even though I love AD.
Now, look, I agree with that. I mean, obviously, we're saying if they're healthy, but I'd be lying if I didn't think a part of me thinks AD will be going down within the next few weeks. And LeBron's as much of a concern just because of his age.
Right. And he's
So
been
that
hurt
is a
already
huge
this year,
issue.
LeBron.
Right,
I mean,
right.
this is just, he's been hurt.
The health is definitely, I agree.
4 of the 5 years, right, Chris? He's been here.
Yeah.
And been in LA, yeah. Carl in Mobile, Alabama, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Carl?
Hey, guys, what's going on? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I really think it's not a matter of whether they're contenders. The Lakers don't have the depth because whether it's injury or foul trouble in a playoff game, who else is going to step up when somebody can't play? And you look at the Warriors, how deep they are. You look at the Celtics. You had role players just stepping up off the bench, right and left. They could come in and knock down points and do things. And the Lakers are just, they don't have the capital to spend to bring in the players to have the depth. So, one guy goes down or gets in foul trouble, now you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at making some more moves, perhaps. But, I mean, I like around AD and LeBron, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder. I think I always like him for what he is. And obviously Westbrook. But, yeah, they could definitely use a few more parts. And most of those guys, all of them that I mentioned are guards. So they do need a little bit more depth, no doubt.